Okay, continuing in this gorgeous slasher flick cabin I'm living in right now in Guatemala. I'm going to switch gears and tell you a little bit about this time I did mushrooms in the Gili Islands. So, the Gili Islands are 3 islands off the coast of Lombok, which is the island next to Bali in Indonesia. There are 3 tiny little islands. There's Gili Air, which is spelled air, and air means actually water in Bahasa Indonesia, most likely. There's Gili Meno, which is the middle island, and then there's Gili Tarangan. I think it's how you say it, but Gili T is what everyone calls it. Um, so Gili Air is for honeymooners, Gili Meno is for retirees, and Gili T is the party island. And Gili T is only the party island on one little piece, but that's where everyone goes. There's no cars. They have horse-drawn carriages, or you can walk, or you can bike. You can take little boats between the islands and see them all. You can do little snorkeling trips. It's really known for its snorkeling. Even though, here's a fun fact, Indonesia has over 85,000 kilometers of coral reef and only 10% remains intact. The rest of it is dead. It's been destroyed by dynamite fishing and other amazing human interactions like killing mangrove forests for tourism, etc., etc. So the air quality actually in Indonesia is really funny. It's not great air, and it's because the coral reef is the lungs, and they're gone. But you can snorkel for like $10 for a full day. It's super cheap to get there. If you're staying in Bali, it's $25 American each way. And that includes your pickup from wherever you're going to be to the boat and your boat over. And you can either buy $50 return or 25 and 25. It doesn't really matter. It takes about a half day with the traffic. There's a lot of traffic in Bali with the traffic in the boat over. It's the party island. My favorite spot is a place called Sama Sama, which is the reggae bar. Each night there's like a party at a different bar and everybody goes there. There's lots of young 20-something rude Australians and other rude types of tourists. But there's also like cool Rasta locals, like all these sort of Indonesian Rasta types move there. And there's some really great expats living there. One in particular is a woman named Dauphine, who's running the Gili Eco Trust. I saw her at a TED Talk, and she was incredible. She started a recycling program on Gili Tea. It's the only one in Indonesia. Kids clean up the beach there as part of their school curriculum. It's really infectious. It gets you to clean up the beach as well. And a portion of, since so many divers go there to get certified, a portion of the fees to dive there go towards the Gili Trust, and they're using it to rebuild coral reef. They're harvesting it using electrical current, and they're on the forefront of doing this in the world. And she's managing a trust of like 20 grand a year or the equivalent. So there's some really cool stuff going on there as well. One of the other things that happens in the Gilis is there's a lot of drug use. Indonesia is beautiful because there's no drugs. It's a really nice place to travel if you're a hippie, because people aren't just getting shit-faced and doing coke everywhere, which is so nice when you leave Thailand. So if you get caught smoking a joint in Indonesia, you can go to jail for 25 years, and they have the death penalty for weed there. It's serious. People don't do drugs. It doesn't mean you can't get them. You can always get drugs. But it's harder, and people are doing it a lot less. It's also a Muslim country. It's not filled with drinkers. It's just not that type of place. But the Gili Islands, you sort of get the feeling that the government has decided these are going to be our little tourist traps, and we're going to look the other way. So you can get mushrooms there, among other things. But mushrooms are advertised everywhere. And one night, my friend Amelia and I went to the Gilis. We stayed in this great little hut at this place called actually Amelia that I always stay at. It's $20 a night for like 2 beds and like crappy aircon and like what I call a Thai shower, which is essentially water coming out of the side of the wall. Always cold. The toilet and the shower is all one thing. I have a photo coming up, you'll see. But if you actually walk to the end of the row of hostel rooms or whatever, there's like this cute little cottage, and for $30 a night, you have your own bathroom. It's actually like adorable. It has a little garden, and Amelia, my friend, Tom, and I all went over to the Gillies for the weekend, and we decided to get the mushroom shakes, and it was great. I hadn't done mushrooms since high school. I'm in my 30s now, so a long time, over 15 years. We did them, and I totally got it for the first time in my life. I had understood the cycle of life. I understood that death was just, it was like a circle, and like life is on here, and death is on here, and the circle just keeps going. And like I understood all of this in my brain. But I did these mushrooms, this mushroom shake that we bought off some shady guy at a crappy Australian party where some dude broke my sandals and another guy pushed me out of the way by my face to get to the bathroom. It was like bad scene, bad vibes all around. We bought them from this little local guy. He was like 3 apples high. And I just got it. Like, I understood. I felt all this fear I was holding on my shoulders just disappear completely. And I purged both ends quite a bit at Sama Sama twice. Amelia also had this great time. And my friend Tom was in the water the whole time. It was his first time ever taking a psychedelic drug. We were worried he was going to drown at one point, and then I just got it. Like, I just got how it all worked, how the universe worked. I just understood it, like, in my heart. And I remember thinking, if he dies, if God takes him, then God takes him. Like, I had no fear of dying at all. And I wanted to sleep outside in the garden so I could be with God. I felt very connected to nature in a way that I couldn't explain on paper. And Amelia sort of fished me out. I had like dug a hole and she fished me out of there. But the lasting impression that happened after I did those mushrooms was I hate plastic now. I've spent the last 2 years getting plastic out of my life as a result, and my eyesight's improved, my memory's improved, my sleep is improved just by choosing a glass bottle for my apple cider vinegar, apple cider vinegar over my like plastic bottle, and not using plastic wrap, or just getting rid of it in every place I can in my life. So that happened. I became sort of mentally allergic to plastic. I stopped wearing makeup, and I stopped hating my body. And I just stopped. I just decided I wasn't going to hate myself for my appearance anymore. And I wasn't going to cover myself up. And I wasn't going to color my hair. And I wasn't going to cut my hair. I haven't cut my hair since. I wasn't going to put chemicals on my body anymore. And yeah. So if you get a chance to go to the Gilies, which are beautiful white sand beaches, and you can hear the like imams singing to each other from mosque to mosque over the water as you snorkel at sunset, it's super shanti shanti beautiful. But also, if you get a chance to go, take the mushroom shake. When in Rome, see how you feel. You can't hurt yourself in paradise for one night. Actually, the only thing people have died from in Indonesia is booze. So, there you go. Maybe the hippie way is better. Here's some photos of that amazing place.